Good evening and welcome to Newsnight with old man of the clan, Andrew Mwenda. He is the CEO of the Independent magazine and a journalist. My name is Charles Odongtho, and this evening in the news, we are going to be discussing the anti-gay. Is it a bill? Is it now a law? Andrew Mwenda, you're most welcome.
Thank you.
Tell me quickly, the last time we discussed this, I think it was on the 7th of January. It was still a bill. Now I am told it is a law. First, quickly, has the president outsmarted you? Because the last time you said he will not sign it. Now I'm told he has signed it.
Well, you can clearly see how fluid and dynamic politics is, so that it's very difficult to attach to be a very good prophet in politics. You can be a very good analyst. Therefore, my answers should always be tentative. But I think that...
What do you think has changed fundamentally?
I think that what Museveni has done is to play what you would call political brinkmanship. Because he went to Chankwanzi and did what the Americans call pork barrel politics. He traded something for another. He traded an extra 5 years as president and then gave the MPs what they wanted. The MPs wanted him to sign an anti-gay bill so they can position themselves as the moral guardians of Uganda's culture. And then, in exchange, they said he can run an opposite, which is itself a resolution that was illegal, without anyone challenging him in 2016. That is pure, simple, democratic bargaining and deal-making.
Are you saying that you did not see that, knowing President Museveni very well? You are a very senior journalist. You should have seen that happening.
No, just like my friend Amama Mbabazi, I was taken by what you would call maximum tactical surprise.
Very good. Now, meaning that this whole thing, to a large extent, is political. Now, let's start the discussion really from where the American president is saying this is going to distort our mutual relationship. Should homosexuality in Uganda really be used, to determine the relationship between Uganda and America, or even any other power?
To be honest with you, Charles, I have tried to think deeply. Why does the Western world, that is Western Europe and North America and Canada and the offshoots in Australia and New Zealand, why do these countries get worked up when matters of homosexuality come up? Because although I am a very strong supporter of gay rights in Uganda.
In Uganda?
Yes, and although I have joined a petition of those who are going to court to challenge the legality and constitutionality of this law, I actually don't like Western intrusion in these debates. Because you see, many homophobic Ugandans think that the homosexuality is a lifestyle that is being promoted in our country by the Western powers. So when we pass a law and Obama comes out to oppose it, Cameron calls Museveni, Hollande, the president of France, Susan Rice, and everybody goes up in arms in the West. Ugandans then begin saying, no, this is an attempt at the cultural imposition. The Western world wants to impose its culture, its lifestyle, its moral decadence on our society. And then, rather than promote the interests of gays, what the interference of the Obamas does is to even mobilize greater passion and animosity towards homosexuals. In other words, their interventions, first of all, are counterproductive. Now, you take it from me, I stand in opposition to Obama's interference.
Now, let's go quickly to, in terms of priority, should the U.S. really, and probably maybe apart from promoting their culture, what is it in this that makes a superpower come down on us, breathe down our throat, and say, this is what we want? When the biggest problem, in my view, is corruption, failed health system, poverty. Those are the infrastructure development that we need. Why should it be any other thing, which is not even about 1%?
So that is also my point, that there are many gross violations of human rights that the Uganda government indulges in.
For example, the Public Order Management Act.
So you have the Public Order Management Act. You have, perhaps you do not understand it in detail, but I should tell you, you have many actions of the government of Uganda, beating leaders of the opposition on the streets, tear gassing them, pepper spraying them. There are so many dirty things the government of Uganda does. Some of them, like they have a prison up here on Summit View in Kololo.
You have talked about it before.
Yes. They run it jointly with the United States. So if the United States is involved
Uganda with the United States?
Yes, jointly.
So they are involved in
if the United States is involved
abusing rights,
in torturing people, I am sure it is not going to condemn the government of Uganda when it tortures others outside of their own torturing racket, which they are running there in Summit View. But that aside, I sympathize with many Ugandans who say, why are these people trying to impose this on us? Let me tell you, first of all, the United States is not trying to impose gay rights on Uganda. There are very many Ugandans, studies will tell you about 3% of the population of any society will tend to be gay. So I am sure that out of 35 million Ugandans, if you ask me, 3% is 900,000. There are 900,000 Ugandans who are gay. Say 1 million Ugandans.
But also,
hold it. This society is likely to have about 1 million gay people.
I
right
actually
now.
doubt, because they would be out there to, show their thing.
So why are you worried then if
there is no study that has been done to show the percentage?
No, I am telling you that most studies across geographic space and historic time, that is from the 1950s up to now, and across Asia, Africa, Latin America, and everywhere, there is the incidence of people who are completely gay tends to be around about 3%, and you'll find about 15% of the population of any country have gay tendencies, homosexual tendencies. So, but at least a minimum of 3% will tend to be pure gay, lesbian, homosexuals.
Let's go quickly.
Let me explain to you. So, there are very many in Uganda, and those people are demanding rights. The government of Uganda and these parliamentarians, in their cultural bigotry, in their
No, Andrew, I want to disagree. It is not bigotry. The Parliament of Uganda has discharged its duty under the Constitution's Article 79 mandates Parliament to be the only body in this country that is supposed to make laws for the good and for the good development of this country, for the peace and order and blah blah blah.
What is your religion?
Now, I am a Catholic. I am a practicing
Let me
Catholic,
ask-
and
let
it's
me-
not
let
about
me ask
religion,
you-
Andrew. Let's
No,
go
no,
back
no,
to the issue.
hold a second.
Parliament
Please,
has discharged its
please.
duty. No, Andrew, let's not let's not go away from this. Why is there a government, a sovereign government, the US, talking down upon the throat of a government body, Parliament, and not looking at the priorities?
But you see, Charles, you are asking me questions in circles because I've already explained to you that I disagree with Western powers interfering in our democratic process. Now, so if you condemn Obama and Cameron, Sarkozy, and whoever it
you
is,
agree?
there we share that. But I do not agree with the homophobia that exists in Uganda. Me, I defend gay rights. I have told you. Sylvia Tamale called me and asked me to join a petition. I told her without any doubt, I am willing to appear at the square there in Kampala, is considered square, to be shot in defense of gay rights.
Actually, nobody's going to shoot you because
But let me explain to you my point. First, there are homosexuals here in this country, and their rights must be protected above any law. Because the Parliament of Uganda is mandated to make law. Should they make a law saying all Batoro, the great tribe where I come from, the Batoro should be genocided, all of them should be killed.
Of course they
So
cannot.
the law should not be passed to take away my rights. They cannot pass a law saying that all Japadolas or Alur, for example, should not get married. You know what I mean? So I disagree with this law because, first of all, it's a barbaric law. It's an uncivilized law. It reflects cultural bigotry, ignorance, and I think religious extremism here.
So what is the alternative that you suggest to this law?
I personally believe that the government of Uganda has no responsibility and no obligation whatsoever, and has even no right to interfere in the bedroom of everybody, of anybody in this country.
Speak to the threat by Canada. Yesterday we had in the news here on NTV. Speak to the threat of Obama, maybe even if it is Cameron. What do you think is within their mandate to do against a sovereign country?
You see, I have never. They can impose economic sanctions. They can cut off their aid, and personally, I don't support aid. So if they cut it, the better. You understand me?
It's only 18%, of course,
But
which
I
is funded
should
by
tell
the
you,
donors.
Charles, I have thought you cannot imagine how many times discussed with the people. The other day I was discussing with Timothy Caligari because there's a lot of conspiracy theories. Why does the gay movement exercise such enormous power within the highest echelons of the power structure of the United States, whether it is in Hollywood, whether it is on Wall Street, whether it is in Washington, D.C., in Congress and the White House? Perhaps we need to investigate that and know why would a tiny minority of a sexual lifestyle constitute such a powerful body for lobbying. I have not seen whether it is the Jewish lobby, the Arab lobby, the African American lobby, even the Wall Street does not seem to exercise that level of control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is something perhaps we need to understand about the Western world and the kind of public policy pressures. You realize that Obama is not, by the way, addressing himself to Museveni when he issues that statement. Obama is addressing himself to his domestic constituency in America. A law has been passed in Uganda, and the homosexual lobbies, the gay lobby in America is very strong, and it provides a lot of votes for him, a lot of support for him. So he must appease that constituency. To appease that constituency, he must be seen to take action against Uganda. And that action can constitute economic sanctions, it can constitute withdrawal of diplomatic support from Uganda, and finally it can constitute cutting aid.
Well, thank you so much. And that was Andrew Mwenda, CEO of The Independent, talking about...
And old man of the clan.
And old man of the clan.
Yes.
Let's have a good evening.